Hello and welcome to There Be Dragons for episode 15. I am your Dungeon Master Matthew. Let's go around the table, introduce the players and the people that they play. To my right is...
Hello, I'm Abella, otherwise known as Angela in normal everyday life.
Hi, I'm Keren, and I'll be playing your friendly neighborhood dragonborn, Rhylind Westfall.
I'm Josh Walker, and I'm going to be playing Skairn Fellspar.
Tristan Doust, playing Charlie Roughhouse.
And Tom Moore, Nezor Valghoorlis.
So, last session was a little intense for some, and...
I think getting chased by a bird is intense for anyone, let alone a 12-foot bird.
Yeah. To set the scene for you, you've just dealt with a very large bird, which you successfully scared off, or made at least decide, this is not worth this at this moment. I need to go away from here. The sun is setting. You probably have about 5-10 minutes left of daylight. It is getting a little cold where we are, and a small mist is creeping through the tangled but very, very large thorns that are separating the path from the rest of the world.
Mist.
There's also mist rising from Rylind's nostrils, because in case anyone managed to forget, she's really angry.
It's probably steam, more like...
No, it's cold.
I get cold when I'm angry.
Yeah.
I summon my dragon, like my baby dragon, off the bird.
As the bird retreats into the distance, you do see an object fall away and land. He sort of glides down and lands safely amongst the thorns, but he is quite some distance to the northwest. Everyone roll me a perception check, please.
17.
15.
3.
26.
Okay, for those of you who rolled above 15, the mist is seeping from the vines, no higher than, say, your shins. Charlie, after being pummeled and driven to the ground by Rhylind, you're in an optimal position to notice that with the retreating of this sunlight, the vines that are holding the thorns that have been weeping this acid, just slightly coiling.
I mean, just to clarify, I wasn't still on the ground.
No, but you were on the ground.
Yeah, okay, cool.
How far away is Hrosh? Can I, send to him, stay out of the mist?
Using your bond?
Yeah.
You get... Because it's an emotional bond, isn't it, between... You don't actually have speak to animals.
It's not speak to animals, it's more of a sort of a mist, and then the implication, like an image of the mist, and then the implication that this thing is bad.
Sure. He sends back to you, not a panic, but like an apprehension feeling, like he's landed himself in a sticky situation. Right. But he's still in communion with you.
Right. I want to control flames and burn myself a path to him.
Okay, sure.
This would be a sort of an act of desperation. Like, I am very concerned about him.
Sure.
It's not a specifically a deliberate thing. It's sort of like must get to dragon flames.
Yeah. Okay. So what does control flames allow you to do? Do you ignite a flame, or do you just control one that's been made?
I can't create one. However, I do have firebolt, so I will firebolt one and then control that.
Sure.
Sort of, I go up reasonably close to it, probably sort of 10 feet from it, and firebolt comes out of my hand and hits the thorns, and then I control the flame into a wall of it and try and basically burn myself a direct path out.
Okay.
So, Scan, you raise a hand and a burst of flame shoots from it and hits the nearest clump of vines, causing it to burst into flames and hiss with the discharge of this stinking acid.
So, yeah, you push this wall of flame into the thorns, and they burn without complaint. They ignite, in fact. Mm-hmm. And this acidic component that is apparently part of the sap is burning like a fuel.
Right.
And sputtering, actually, almost like there's a pressure. I'm assuming you're going to keep pushing forward. It's going to take a bit of effort. There's just a lot of these thorns of different sizes. While Scan's doing that, is anyone else doing anything?
I'm concerned about the mist, but I'm getting my dragon. Deal with the mist situation, please.
Well, I haven't got magic, so...
Nezor, would you like to have a look at the mist, mate?
Oh, yeah, I'm also slightly concerned that I hurt Charlie earlier and want to check up on him, but...
it's probably fine.
He's still walking,
fine.
so it's not a...
Fine. Worry about the mist.
Yeah, can I do an Arcana check on the mist?
Sure.
12.
just a mist.
Yeah, cool.
While Nezor, I guess,
Yeah.
crouches down and puts his hand through the mist and plays with it, trying to work out if it has any magical properties.
No, got nothing.
Abella and Rhylind and Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm going to spend a couple of my hit die while they're looking at stuff, just to pick out some of the bird feather, like metal that got thrown into me. It's just 8. Screw it, I'm going to keep spending. Yeah, I'll do that. So just heal back 17 hit points.
Absolutely.
How are people feeling, by the way, after that fight? I'm a bit
busy.
tired. Yeah. You just call us if you need us.
In response to that question, I'm just going to go keep an eye on Skairn
Okay. That's cool.
instead of answering.
Scan, as you step forward, your foot goes down about a ½ inch and it lands in water.
Oh,
Ooh.
you fell.
A little bit.
Roll me a dex save.
No. No, I'm not.
It's not good.
It's 10.
Your boot is now stuck. As the water pulls around it and your boot starts to get sucked into the mud.
So my boot or my foot?
Your boot. Your
Okay.
boot is in your foot, so by extension,
Your
your
boot
foot.
is in your foot, Skairn.
Sorry, your foot is
Can
in
I
your
remove
boot.
my foot from the boot?
Yeah, absolutely. If you
Okay,
want.
I'm going to do that. Step backwards and then try and sort of ascertain where would be safe to stand. Kneel down and try and pull my boot out.
Sure.
I put it back
takes
on.
a bit of effort, but you manage to pull it free and stumble back a few steps.
What did I fall into? Can I have a look?
Yeah, it's just a muddy patch.
Okay.
But it appears to be like this is almost like the lip of some kind of bog.
Right. I keep burning,
Yeah.
but I burn further away. Like I stay where I am and I continue to burn the line. How far did I get?
You got about 15 foot in.
Oh, okay.
It seems like these vines are coming from this
Ah.
this water.
You sure you...
I found a bog. Come check it out if you want.
I'm okay, but thanks.
Is that how
No,
it scans down?
It doesn't smell as bad as me.
Thanks for the recommend. I think I'll, give it a pass.
All right. We don't even need to be talking this loudly.
No.
15 feet is like across the room.
Yeah, but...
I might nudge Rhylind a little bit, even though I mostly know what's going on. Still nudge her a bit and be like, "What's up?"
You know, if he wants to die, that's fine.
I'm
He
just
doesn't
gonna,
have to bring me down with him.
I'm just going to look at Nezor and just do don't talk about it. Like the...
Hand gesture.
Yeah,
No, I'm just doing the get out of here symbol. Like let's get out of here first, and then.
I do the thumbs up symbol. Like, yeah,
There's
good
a
idea.
bird's nest.
Though to be fair, I can actually communicate with you telepathically, but this seems easier.
Yeah.
While this is all happening, the sun has set now, and you are dealing with the afterglow that peeks out over the horizon. Everyone, roll me a perception check, please.
18.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh, okay, excellent.
That's good.
Started paying
15.
attention.
13.
23.
Okay, Abella, because you rolled the best, I'm going to say while you're standing idly next to Scan, and this becomes apparent to anyone who rolled over 20. These vines, these thorns, they were only slightly moving before as the sun started to drop. They are now slithering inside each other. It's a very slow, subtle movement. The area around you starts to sound like just that sort of brush on brush sound.
Oh, God.
How is it moving?
Yes.
How fast?
One thorn could rotate in, say, 10 seconds. The vines near Scan are not moving.
Hey, guys. I don't want to alarm anyone, but, these vines are moving.
Where
Except-
I am is warm, and they are not moving here.
Also, still, just a group recommendation. Can we go check out the bog?
Sure.
It's a pretty cool bug.
Yeah.
What's Charlie doing throughout all this?
Because the sun's going down, Charlie, after he pulled all the bits of metal out of himself, pulled out a torch and lit it, stands there and waits for everyone to do what they need to do before we can move on.
You also notice that even though you're not, holding the torch near these vines, the ones nearest to you are reacting slower. So they're not moving as fast.
So torches are a good idea?
Or fire, generally.
I have definitely lit a torch.
I also light a torch.
I'm gonna follow this trend by lighting a torch.
I am a torch.
I am a torch, he says, putting his hands out, going...
Flame on.
Yeah. You have managed to burn about 60 foot out
Cool.
of this area.
Good.
But that's the extent of you're able to go out without stepping foot into the bog.
All right. I will consider this.
Well, do we want to
Hrosh not also have been moving?
Yeah, how's Hrosh doing?
I don't know. How is Hrosh doing?
You get a right now, man, vibe back from him.
Yeah, that does it for me. I very cautiously move into the bog.
Should we be following? It's probably not a good idea to get separated.
How are you
Feels
going
like
to
a
approach
hint.
this? Because just by lightly stepping into it,
You feel the sucking motion on it?
Yeah, it's like it's slow, but it's very just the fact it took so much effort to get it back, the boot back.
Yeah, all right. I'm not liking this. I can't go in, though. I try it again, and probably notice that it's still no better.
Could you, if you had some sort of like flat-ish, wide-ish surface,
Like a
could
shield?
you, not even something smaller, like a book cover that you could then tie to your feet? I still have those magic books from ages ago.
I like this.
So it's basically bog shoes.
Yeah, bog shoes. You want to make some bog shoes?
Do you want to build a bog shoe? I think that's under
An elf
copyright.
and a half elf. See?
Want to
Yeah, no,
build a bog shoe?
let's try bog shoes.
Let's build a bog shoe. So I'm taking out one of my magic books. So I tear open my books and use one of the covers from each, as well as like some
So wait,
paper.
so you tear the book that
As in, like,
you deface it.
yes.
It shrieks.
Oh God!
And ink
I
just-
also shriek.
and ink just bleeds from it. And the shriek echoes throughout the entire swamp.
Let's not build a bog shoe. We don't need bog shoes. It's
You've already
fine.
ripped it. You might as well use it now.
Do you want to build a haunted bog shoe?
Not right now. I'm burning
dead
thorns.
What is everyone else doing? I don't want to hear from Skairn and Bella for a bit. You're in the sin bin for making that terrible song.
That was great.
Like, has she actually managed to get the cover off the book?
Yeah, it's come off. It's just when you've ripped it and defaced it, it screamed. And ink just bled from it.
Maybe just tear that one in half and not tear off another one.
But what if we all need bog shoes?
Well, I only have 2 of these books, so
I got a couple.
I have some too, but good. Shrieking in our current situation, probably not the best idea.
I've got one and I shot it and it didn't scream.
maybe it's just when you tear its skin off.
Yeah, you didn't. You killed it straight up. You didn't slowly tear it to
I didn't
pieces.
slow. It was
It's like flaying.
humane.
Sure.
Haunted magical book. I know. Anyway, so I'm going to keep making a bog shoe. I just like get my rope and tie it around
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like a sandal.
I'm just kind of swinging my torch around lazily.
Can I pick up a rock and throw it into the bog?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
I do so.
It lands in the bog and then sinks. And you hear like a big like and it's when it fully submerges.
That's a great sound.
Guess we get to choose how we die.
Hey, Scan.
Yeah.
Would you like to try on a bog shoe?
Do that again and I'm gonna give you disadvantage. Just on
But that was
principle.
also actually a question. Would you like them? I'm
Well, you
finished.
should
no,
probably
I-
test them before
I
you.
actually would, but just give me a moment.
I'm looking warily at the vines. Are there any close to me?
Yes, you are surrounded by vines.
Like as
Like
in
more so?
within touching distance.
The space you have in which to operate is about 8 foot wide.
If you come back to me, I can make that space a lot wider. Because that's what I'm going to do before I put on a bog shoe.
Yeah.
Is burn all the vines around me, and I'm gonna once I set fire to them, I'm gonna double the brilliance, double the light produced by the flames.
Yeah, sure.
Which is also a thing that I can do with control flame.
You can do up to 3 different things with the properties, I believe.
It's a lot. What happens?
They slow, and where it's the most brilliant but not burning, they almost stop moving entirely.
Like I can keep this up for a while, but if I go without sleep, it's gonna suck.
Nezor, could you make something glow and see if that does anything? Is it just light or is it fire?
That's a good idea.
You got light,
I
right?
think of that.
I'm always looking at that. I'm like,
Nice. I'm gonna put on a bog shoe.
okay, good. Because I made them, so
It'd be rude not to at
Yeah.
this point.
I don't know if it will scream when you walk on it. So
only is this life, Abella.
Can I make Charlie's pants glow again with
Yeah.
prestidigitation and get him to put his torch out? I'm going to make your pants glow, Charlie, and then I'm hoping that you can put your torch out and walk close to some vines and see
Or
what
just
happens
give him
for
the
me.
torch.
How do you do that? Do you like just point at it, or do you go over and sensually rub his knee, or like
It's
Finger
mo- mo-
guns.
mostly
Double
the-
finger guns.
blang?
That is totally what a goth would do.
Emo.
I'm sorry.
So I do that, and then I take Charlie's torch off him as opposed to putting it out, because no point putting it out. And then, if he wants to walk over to some vines to be a nice guy.
How many people can you make glow at once?
3 objects.
So while you've been troubleshooting the properties of these moving thorns, this natural light has all but extinguished itself. Night has fallen. The overcast sky does not give you much in the way of any kind of nightlight, and this mist is now rising to just above your knees, and it's getting much colder.
Can I create a minor illusion of a really bright light?
Yes.
I say, neat idea. Let's try it on a macro scale. And I hold my hands in a ball above my head and then create a glowing ball of light.
And everyone in the world does the same
Let's
thing
do
to
their
add
power.
their power to yours.
Yeah, that. You could be referential if you like. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Spirit bomb.
How do you
Dragon
not know
Ball Z.
that?
No.
You have created a magical illusion above you.
Uh-huh.
How high up?
Oh, head height. Well, a little above head. 7 feet.
7 feet? Okay. 7 feet does not actually clear the height of these thorns.
That's fine. I don't need to do that.
They've actually increased in height. They're now 10 foot high.
Okay.
They don't shrink back, but they do stop moving quite as fast.
Huh. As bright as I can make it.
Define how bright. Like, are you making it blindingly bright? Or?
Yeah, don't look at it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so it's very, 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 very bright here. These thorns have pretty much stopped moving.
What?
Everything within, I'm going to say, about a 100-foot radius has... They're not... Actually, you know what? They're not 100% stopped. You're almost certain that out of the corner of your eye when you're not looking, they just move
I'm
slightly.
pretty sure it's this crab.
Yeah. Sure.
You've never seen my crabs.
I am not interested.
So, what do? You got this bog. You've got a pathway behind you.
Can I maintain that? How long? Wait, hang on. Let's.
Well, it's a minor illusion, so how long can you maintain a
I'll
minor
look.
illusion?
I'll look. It's about a minute. Not long then.
Oh, longer than nights, yeah.
Look, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of sleep tonight.
Well, look, guys, if the plan is to try and survive the night, we need to get Hrosh ASAP and then get to somewhere safe.
You actually can't sense him anymore.
Ah!
I'm assuming by that yell that you've just found out something about Hrosh.
I'm not hearing him.
Okay, so we make our way to Hrosh as
Like
soon as we
ASAP.
can, and then we'll plan out the rest of the night, because I think between the spellcasters we can have enough light to keep us safe for a night.
Yeah. I'm going. If even if it means I don't I put on the bog shoes and I try them.
Sure.
I cast message pointing my finger at Skairn so I can stay in contact with him.
Thank you.
Cool.
Roll me a dex check.
17.
Okay, Scan, with your hands outstretched, maintaining the controlled flame, you rush out into the bog and manage to keep pace with the burn rate as you push forward through these vines.
This flame is moving at about 10 foot every 5 seconds,
Wow. Good.
and there's no more ground in sight.
Sure. I keep moving. That's a bad idea to stand still in a bog.
Yeah.
And do I have a fix on Hrosh?
You know he was heading in this direction.
Sure. So I'm going to move in that direction towards him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, just be mindful of the fire that's ahead of me if it's moving that rapidly, because I don't want to burn him. Though I imagine he's reasonably resistant to flames.
Yeah. As you move, you're almost worried because your feet are stuck on the ground. Even though you're having this 10 foot every 5 seconds, it's like you're getting closer and closer and there's no land in sight. There is suddenly just a lack of resistance and you've breached the other side.
Oh, okay.
And there's just another empty space beyond.
Sure.
And as the flame moves out and you move through, you realize you're actually sitting in the middle of a very large, swampy area.
Right.
You can see ahead of you this island peeking out of it. It strikes you as being, because you especially being from land loss, it strikes you as this is almost like a burial mound.
Huh.
But what's more interesting is set atop it are 8 menhirs
Uh-huh.
arrayed in a circle. Hrosh must have landed on this island.
Sure.
Actually, roll me an Arcana check.
11.
That sort of fuzzy, staticky feeling that you had before
Oh, yes.
is increased significantly when you breach and walk through into this space.
Yep.
After you've breached this hole, fog starts to billow from the...
Is it notably, like, starting to do that?
Yes.
Like, as a reaction to the fact that I'm here?
No, it's everywhere. That retreating sunlight and the cold that you're feeling, this mist is just rising rapidly. And it's now at about chest height.
Okay.
Everyone else, you've got about, I'm going to say about a minute's worth of stuff you guys can do at the same time if you'd like.
Well, Skairn's telling me that he's found some menhirs,
The boots are great.
and then the fog started rolling in, so I think we got to stick together because shit might be going down.
Did he say anything about the boots?
He said the boots are great,
Awesome.
which means if we can have more of them,
Well, I've got books too.
we need 8 shoes.
Just let me check how many books I have.
I have 1
All I have
extra.
I have a gold bar and a dead rose. Can't really make shoes out of that.
Nothing in your
Okay,
pockets?
I have 4 books.
Oh, done.
Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Cool. I get out my 4 books and start ripping the covers off.
Each one you rip shrieks like the other, and this ink just drains from it.
Isn't creepy at all.
I'm horrified by like the second one because it's a reoccurrence of the first one, and then I laugh because it's kind of funny.
You have a sick sense of humor, Nezor.
Scan, if you're still moving, I need another dex check.
That's a nat 20.
Yep, you manage to hop and land on like what seems to be a stone that's slightly submerged,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually a good resting spot. And you're about nearly 100 foot away from the party,
Damn it.
and you're just sort of standing there in the middle of this bog.
Scan, we're coming. Like we're going to group up. So if you want to wait,
Yeah,
But I
look,
totally
more
understand
support
you.
would be a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so people put their bog shoes on. I believe everyone except at this point, unless Rhylind, you've made one for everyone.
Well, I have 4 books.
Yep, so you've made it one for everyone.
I've made one for Charlie. I threw a book at him instead.
This one, Charlie will just sort of look at you and then look at the book and then pull out some jerky from his bag and chew it.
So you're not going to join us? Alrighty. Well, I'm going to put my bog shoes on.
I'm going to make, just out of slight annoyance, make Charlie's shirt glow as well as his pants.
But just around the nipples.
His suspenders.
Make his nipples glow.
Make his nipples glow.
Can't just make it. These nipples are
Fine.
organic. that's the
So
word.
while Nezor's doing that, Nezor, this fog is now basically at head height for you, over your head. Anything that requires you to see, you're going to have disadvantage on.
I cast Mage Hand and make it spin around my head like a fan.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, it moves around, and this fog moves and billows out the way, and then after a bit, it comes back, and then you wave it away again. So it's just you're like a miniature cyclone made by a mage hand.
You're like a police thing. You need to make it like a wee-hoo, wee-hoo,
It does go out every minute, and I'll have to recast it every minute. But
Yeah,
if that plays into anything you're doing,
Plan of action, guys.
Alrighty, so we've all got our bog shoes on, except Charlie, whatever. I guess
straight line.
straight line, going for it. Great.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Cross the bog.
Yep.
Oh, actually, do we have any spare rope?
Yes.
Yeah, we have
Because
like 50
yeah,
feet.
I imagine we should, for now, tie ourselves around each other just so we can then help pull each other out.
That's a good thought.
If we're really stuck.
Charlie, when everyone sort of goes to walk away, stands up, takes his boots off, ties the laces, hangs them over his shoulders, picks up the book that was thrown at him, puts it in his backpack, like his little pack.
Well, I guess we throw him the rope and he can tie it around himself and then we can pull each other out. But I think Abella was walking forward first.
Yep. Cool. So
I think Nezor will go in the middle and
Would you, if your dignity allows it, I mean, you can always ride me. Oh, yes. Ha ha.
I'm trying not to, but like this is a serious situation. Hop on.
Yeah, I have no shame with that. That's absolutely fine.
Sort of
I'll
bend
make sure there's no mist around us. That's gonna be fine.
Okay, so way we'll handle this is Abella, as you're taking point, you'll roll the dex check for the party. We're going to have Abella, then Rhylind, and then at the end of the rope, Charlie, who will be carrying Nezor and Duchess, as well as his boots over his shoulder.
Come to me and I'll come with you going forwards would be my what I would send to, but I don't think you want to stop here. And the rock is like a not very big.
No, you could fit maybe another person could stand on it, and you could both
I'm thinking
hold,
an A4 sheet.
You could basically hold, like, do that thing where you've got 1 foot each on there, and you've got like a hand.
Rhylind and Charlie stand and we form a human pyramid and rest the
effectively.
night here.
Yeah.
The base of which isn't very happy.
So, Abella, what did you roll?
11.
11. You have advantage, so roll again.
Oh, 20.
20? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
25 if you want to be.
No, very nice.
So I'm going to have to paint a bit of a word picture here. Abella, Rhylind, and Charlie, you all tie a loop of rope around your midriff. Charlie, you then hoist Nezor onto your shoulder and then with your other hand pick up Duchess, and you all start marching through this bog. At several moments you have to stop and pull yourself out, but you manage to make your way across relatively unimpeded. You do lose 1 or 2 of your bog shoes along the way, and they are literally sucked beneath with a squelch. But you do reach Skairn on his stone, and then once you're grouped together, you manage to make your way to this central island. The minute you step onto it, the hairs on your body all begin to stand on end from this sort of static charge.
I have no hairs on my body.
You have a mustache.
Alopecia, other than your mustache.
I shave. It's just a gentleman
Like-
doesn't tell.
Every... No, you
I
know
also don't have hair, so I assume I feel a prickle on the back of my neck.
Yeah. It's that uncanny feeling. Abella's hair is like stuck on end. It's kind of frizzy. I imagine Nezor's got like a pretty interesting quiff.
Yeah, it's getting swirled around.
Yeah, it's also like frizzy. I imagine because Charlie's bald, his mustache is bristling.
My hair is tight
That's
back,
quite impressive.
Yeah.
and my beard is braided.
Yeah, looks like cats' tails when they get really annoyed. Yeah,
That's worse.
There is just like this.
Like a static charge.
It's that static feeling that you felt before, not too long ago, in the bowels of Areem.
I got a natural 20.
4.
My perception.
There's a stone slab arrayed in the center of these menhirs, and it is made of a very similar looking stone to the stone that the Aremians used to place their catapult upon. It is a square, about 2 meters wide. There are soft imprints on the grass here. You see tracks of footprints.
What kind of footprints would you like me to roll of?
Footprints, actual footprints, not wearing boots.
Not surprised by that.
Yeah. And they lead from the opposite side of this mound that you've approached on and circle and seem to be circling around this central area quite a few times. Like the ground is actually tamped and then seem to lead back the way they came.
Is it one set?
No, it's multiple sets.
Alright.
Roughly 9 people.
Where's my dragon?
You are, I guess, seeking out him as your bond.
That was part of my perception, really.
He is no longer nearby. You are now starting to actually pick up, like, the sense of him being near here. Mm-hmm. But he's not...
Not here now.
Not here now. In fact, he seems to have moved towards the southeast.
How far?
It's on the edge of your periphery. The nature of your bond, you kind of know
It's
where
not
he is.
distances, but it's But it's away? Like,
yeah. He feels distant.
Is it in the bog? Out back beyond the bog? Or is on the island?
Beyond the island. So on the other side of this mound, you actually see what looks like a small causeway in the bog. There are these large stones that have been sunk in very deliberately, and they make a fairly straight path to this mound. It's almost exactly the same distance that you travelled, maybe a bit shorter. And also from this position, and all of you can see this, these thorns that you were sort of dealing with, while they peter out when they reach the other shore, they sort of almost have an almost perfect circle, and you can see these sort of willow trees in the distance.
I would like to use my primeval awareness.
All right, brilliant. You take a moment. You breathe in and out.
You can sense 9 people, definitely humanoids, traveling in a southeasterly direction. And they're about 500 meters, 600 meters away. But it is odd, though. Like there's almost something...
Clouding it.
not so much clowning it, but there is something strange about these people. They are definitely human, but there is something about them that doesn't make sense. They've almost got something animal about them.
Right.
It's just a really odd vibe that you're getting from them.
I just wanted to do an Arcana check on the
Sure.
stone table plinth thing.
Yeah.
That's a 19.
Yeah. This thing is emanating this field, this feeling. And the closer you get to it, the more that your hairs stand on end. And like, obviously, being a halfling, you've probably got hairy, I was going to say hairy palms, but hairy backs of your hand. As you, like...
Being an emo, you probably masturbate a lot.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to fucking emo.
You see...
The tea is a lubrication.
As you pass your hand... Jesus.
Welcome. Sorry, please continue.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
finished. I'm finished now. Also, maybe Nezor is too. Who knows? Now I'm done.
Is he wearing gloves?
Right, please, let me describe this. As you pass your hand over this, those already... I'm gonna catch it for using this as a script. Those already erect hairs are now straightening even more so.
If you use words like erect, yes,
It's
yes,
not
you
like-
are.
well, the hairs that are standing on end.
There you go.
Stand on end even more as you pass your hand over this. This thing is definitely holding some kind of residual magic charge. And actually, for a moment, you recognize in it maybe what you saw or was described to you about the statue that you saw on the road not too long ago, the three founders of the Bashano Republic. There is that, almost like it's been wrought with an intent in the stone. But what that is, you can't determine.
Can I pull out the flute that I've held onto, the +1 flute?
Yeah. I'm
Even
not sure
though-
if that's how it works, but sure.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to say if you use it, it gives you a +1 to your roll.
Yeah. And play that song that was written on that I had before, or is that
Yeah,
too much
absolutely
to
you
recall
can.
from-
You don't even have to do a roll for it. Nothing happens.
Yeah, didn't think so, because that was to do with the robots, but
There's
I
a
wanted
lovely tune.
I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
to. Is that me included?
Oh, fuck.
What does it do again? I asked. I don't. It's fine.
5.
9.
Sorry, 6. 6.
9.
19.
Anyone who rolled under 15?
I was
is now-
busy. I was doing something. So-
Yeah.
Your ears
You're still hearing
work.
things. Immediately beset by this. It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to you just comes back to you so vividly and in the moment.
I'm actually living it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My baby dragon is gone, and beyond my sister, I care about him more than just about anybody else in the world. And yeah, I know where he is, and I know the people who've got him, and there's 9 of them, and I'm seriously considering multiple homicide right now.
You
just thinking-
hyperventilate and start bawling.
Okay.
As the realization that this is happening hits you. In fact, everyone does except, I think, Charlie.
Charlie,
No, and
Charlie
Nezor.
has a drink.
Charlie is dead to the world.
We just kind of huddle up together, and I'm like, shit,
I
I
just
forgot
sort
about
of-
that song.
Pull out one of the big things of
Need more
booze.
jerky.
Just no, the kegs that we had.
Between my
and just sort of
sobs,
have a drink.
I say, getting drunk again is not going to fix this.
So after a few minutes, this feeling dissipates.
Oh, it does not for me. I just stopped crying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, Charlie, I want to say, I'm not mad. I'm not. I think I see what's going on with you, and I think I need to have a chat with you as a friend. But I also not now.
I'm not ready to talk, but right now I'm ready to find whoever stole Hrosh and
Thank you.
beat their heads out their asses.
Let's do that.
So let's work on that first, and then.
They're that way, and there's 9 homicides we need to commit tonight.
No, it's not homicide.
This for me.
Hey, Nezor. Not fucking do that song again.
That's a bad idea.
Like, yeah, thanks.
It's been just long enough for me to forget what it did.
Charlie wishes he could cry.
Charlie's family, as a ritual at age 7, have their tear ducts removed.
No, cauterized with hot wire.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm not prepared.
Never.
What's Rhylind been up to? This whole time, there's been just this dragonborn in the room. We all
It's
know
a
it's
dragonborn
there.
at the end of the table.
Yeah, we're all there. We all know it's there. No one's talking about it. It's not talking about anything.
sort of talked about it.
What's happening?
I started to, and then Abella glared at me.
Yeah, no.
Oh, she's still quietly fuming. But of course, now she's more upset than angry because she just got blasted with sadness. She's just
helped.
Yeah. So she's just relived the night she had to flee Erhart.
Fun.
So she's pretty pissed off right now. She's upset and angry, and she's just bearing it in silence because if she says anything, she's going to lose control and just rain down shit on the people around her. So she's quite hoping they find some dragon nappers so she can wail on them for a while and let out some of this tension.
As long as we've got all this built-up tension, we're just going to murder our way through it.
This is a bonding exercise.
This is like the violence therapy.
No, this is the moment we go from neutral good to neutral evil, and we just like start our reign of
Wait.
terror
You guys
on
were
this
neutral
continent.
good?
Okay, so plan of action. Unless you ran sobbing towards them.
Not sobbing.
Can we please?
How fast are they moving? Or are they just walking?
It's purposeful.
Well, yeah, after everyone's finished crying, I imagine we just move.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. All right. Yeah, you cross the stones, you get to the other side. You approach these trees, these weeping willows, things that...
Are they crying?
What? No, haha. No, they are...
Did they hear the song?
Thick foliage that are sort of wrapping in on themselves, and they're actually getting quite thick. But there is a worn path. in the ground.
Are they moving?
No, they're just trees.
They're just trees. Okay. Like they're not they're not moving in a similar fashion to the thorny vines.
No, absolutely
good,
not.
good. I like that. That's
and
things
as-
I don't have to set fire to.
But as you walk through this area, that same electrical feeling is still there. Scan, please do me a Constitution save.
We're in Electric Avenue.
Yeah.
It wasn't the way I wanted it, but Constitution, you say?
Yes.
15.
You're fine. You're still tied together with rope, I assume?
We haven't not. I'm not.
I don't think it's a bad idea to stay tied together, frankly.
I'm
Keep
not
tight
tied to
together.
them, but
There's space because Nezor's on my
That's fine.
shoulder. So.
I'm not. He's an intercept.
Doesn't want to be tied down.
Tied onto the...
But
Just those two are tied
Yeah,
to each
they're
other.
basically tied to each other like
Right,
a...
well, I want to be pulled up if I get drowned, so I'm gonna.
But we're not
stay
in a bog
tied
now.
to-
This is a
So you're
path.
constantly using Gust, is that correct?
Yeah.
Roll me 2d10, please. Give me a d100 roll.
A D100. That would be a 73.
Since you're doing this, please roll me a d5, which is roll a d10 and halve it. And I'm
Okay.
going to go like this. 1,
Oh.
2,
Oh no.
3,
Oh dear.
4,
It's 10.
5. And that's Abella.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Abella.
Oh no.
As...
Bella is now a rhinoceros.
No.
I'm okay
No,
with
no,
that.
no,
She's
no.
one size larger. Blue. I know all of those are possibilities. And am I wild magic? I thought I was dragon magic.
Yeah, you're dragon magic.
So, Abella,
Yes.
are you resistant to poison? Scan, you're pushing these gusts and you're clearing this out the way.
I want to point out I'm not a wild magic sorcerer.
I know. This one time you do it, there is a moment where it's almost like there's an intrusive thought. From your direction of this magic, spores suddenly fly out from your hands, and they sort of get caught in this wind and then just hit Abella straight in the face.
Ah, fucking what?
Abella, you immediately feel sick. Yeah. You are now,
No. Literally anybody else.
I'm not even on a boat now.
you are poisoned for 2 hours. You will have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Really, Scan?
Look.
Really?
Yeah, you feel queasy in the stomach.
You should have cast the silence spell. That would have been much
I'm just going to respond to that.
I may be a sorcerer, but I don't actually know how any of the things I do work. I'm just wanting things to do, and they happen.
As a side note, I turn off Charlie's glowingness while we're starting to chase down people who
So I
we
can't
might
see him in
Sure.
the nipples?
Sure. Okay.
No, we
And
never
is there
got his
any
nipples
light?
to
Is
glow.
anyone still carrying their torches? I just assumed that you all were, especially when you were hopping through.
Yeah, we've still
Yes.
got our torches. I think I'm carrying both mine and Charlie's aloft.
Yep, all good.
But I've turned off his glowing.
Carrying a torchbearer.
So you have.
You're not
this-
carrying a torch.
I don't know. I really want to paint this mental
I'm just a
picture.
brazier.
You've got two of them as well, so you've two.
You're
One for each
sitting
nip.
over Charlie's what? One shoulder or both?
One.
Yeah, holding.
Oh, I stopped my minor illusion as well.
Kind of like the
Oh,
showgirl
that petered out,
carry
okay.
sort of hold.
I missed that. What?
I'm
I've got my
hiding.
high beams.
Oh God, terrible. Yeah, this path winds through these trees, and you feel that you're getting closer. I assume you're running at this point?
Yeah.
Okay,
Jogging at an easy pace. I don't want to wear myself out.
sure. Okay, if you're attempting to sneak up on them, roll me a stealth.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I don't have to roll stealth checks, seeing as I'm not the one moving.
You're on, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled 8 plus 2, so I rolled a 10 for stealth.
Oh, that's not too bad. 14.
Yeah.
Hang on, that's stealth, did you say?
Stealth.
19.
22.
Still got it.
14.
I switched to tippy toes.
Brilliant. Because you're moving quite at pace, are you still using gust, by the way?
Look, I'll probably stop if we're sneaking up on people.
Sure. So yeah, as you're like hurriedly moving through this mist, you catch your toe on a root and stumble and make quite a bit of noise for a moment, and then I imagine all of you sort of just stop for that moment. You scan, because I guess you're still sort of passively perceiving these people, feel them suddenly stop.
And I put my arms out and just sort of...
As you do so, the mist starts to move in and past you, and then they split into 3 groups.
Oh, good.
They go in almost cardinal directions. One heads north, one heads east, and one heads south.
I continue immediately. As soon as they look like they're splitting up, I go
Okay.
to where they at least where they
Sure.
separated.
So anyone else chasing after Scan?
Yes.
It was
are we-
wait. Now go.
Are we south from them, or were we southeast?
They were heading southeast. You were heading southeast with them. One party just turned and went north. One party went and turned east, and one party went directly south. Can I get everyone to do a perception check, please? Just to keep up with each other.
20!
Excellent.
9.
21.
20.
23.
So you're all running towards this space, and
Can I tell which one Hrosh is with? Which group?
it appears to be the group that's heading east.
Okay. He appears to be.
Yeah, you're starting to get like intermittent, like that bond that you have is starting to intermittently come back. But give me one moment, because as you've all run ahead, Abella, you've actually become separated from the group.
Uh-oh.
We're tied together.
Oh, yeah, we are
Yes.
tied together.
So
Fucking yeah.
So okay, I guess Rhylind and Abella become separated from the group as Abella struggles to keep up.
Because I'm throwing up.
You charge into where this. Are you continuing on towards Hrosh? You're getting a strange feeling from Hrosh, actually. Like intermittently, he's very pleased with himself.
Yeah.
Extremely pleased with himself.
Oh dear.
He's fucked some shit up,
The
hasn't
last time he was this pleased with himself.
Like he found a female.
Yeah. Never since then have you felt him feel so sort of smug and self-important.
Guys, we're in real shit now. He's feeling happy.
Unacceptable.
I'm going to investigate the area. You call them to us.
Yep, so I point in the direction that Skairn has told me they are, and I'm like, Abella, what's going on?
And you get no response.
I go to them.
Well, you go back towards where they are, and they're not there. They should be here. You know they should be here, but they're not. Using that primeval awareness, you can't sense them there, and now you can't sense one of the 3 groups.
Which one?
The one that was heading north.
I go back to them.
Yeah.
Skairn, where
Yeah.
are they?
Do I find them?
No.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
And this mist is now extremely heavy. This fog, in fact. So Charlie and Nezor, you're standing there waiting for Skairn to come back,
Yep, Mage Hand's still flying around.
but he doesn't come back.
It's long enough time that he's gone 50 feet and not come back, and we've realised it.
He should have come back by now.
Yeah.
Like you would have expected him to come back.
Either something's gone wrong.
I don't like this mist. My next response is to shoot a fireball into the air. Or, better, no. The minor illusion. The super duper bright minor illusion.
Yeah.
At 30 feet above my head.
Do I see it?
Unfortunately, you do not, because as soon as Skairn casts it, it is swallowed by the mist.
Okay. Even if I'm sort of straining to maintain it?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm in how long have I been in this place?
As in the swamp, you have been here for 2 days, but this is the evening of the 2nd day.
Okay. I'm just now good in this terrain. So it's hard for me to get lost here.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is.
And what's my primeval sense telling me now?
That you're all alone.
Like I can't see anybody.
You cannot sense any other humans.
You can, however, still intermittently sense Hrosh.
And he's actually now to what you thought was south.
I go that way.
Yeah.
With the loss of nothing ever better to do.
Yeah.
Like, I would first retrace my steps, feeling like as a ranger I ought to be okay at doing that.
Yeah, it's strange. This terrain does not seem
The
to be
same as it was when I moved through.
No, there's more roots.
Okay. And I get back to where these guys should be and they're not there?
Nope.
Then I go to Hrosh.
Abella and Rhylind, you come across a sudden flat surface. And you realize almost immediately, both being from the city, from high society, that this is cobblestone.
What is this doing here? I mean, I'm not in the clearest of minds right now, but there's nothing nearby.
Yeah, this is a road.
It absolutely is. Basically, this thing almost bisects the path that you were going through. So if you were heading east, it heads north and south. Roll me perception checks, both of you, please.
11.
1.
11. Okay, that's enough. Abella, you this mist is so tight.
Also, I feel so
Yeah,
sick.
not good. But, Rhylind, you see in the distance a shape on the road.
I think I can see a cart down there.
Really?
Yeah. Can I head towards it?
Absolutely.
Let's have a closer look.
Alrighty.
So as you approach this cart, it appears to have been run off into a ditch, and it's missing a wheel. This thing looks like it's been meticulously stripped. It is literally being held together by just the wood joinings. It looks like someone's gone through it with like a small claw hammer or something and even pulled the nails out of it.
That's odd. And don't know if you remember, but there was a wagon wheel on the road before. Can I have a look at the wheels of the wagon and ascertain if the wheel we saw before?
Yeah, it's absolutely the same kind of make.
Right.
After a cursory glance, you actually realise that emblazoned under where the horses would be hitched and where the driver would sit is the 3 oaks of the Bashano Republic. As you go around to the driver's side door and have a look at it, it becomes very, very apparent to you, especially you, Rhylind, because you would have seen these quite a few times. This is a pay wagon.
Abella, this is a pay wagon.
There's definitely nothing left inside it. I'm just asking.
Can I have a look inside, please?
Absolutely. There is a body inside.
Oh, what type of body?
Elven.
Elven.
And as you climb up, you put your hand out to sort of touch the side where you'd imagine there would be like steel bars or something. Because this thing doesn't have it has smaller windows than a normal cart would, and they probably would have had bars, but it looks like even the bars have been reefed out. There's like little wood chips that have been chipped away around the thing where someone's probably stuck something underneath it and clawed it out. And as you get inside, the inner door has just been stripped off. Like it just doesn't, there's no door. And I assume you go in and look at the body?
Yeah.
It's quite bloodied. He was probably wearing some kind of armor, but he looks like he's been mauled to death. And he's actually clutching in an outstretched hand a quill. And he seems to be lying on a piece of paper, and there's a shattered ink well next to him. And that is seeped into this piece of paper. But some of the writing is still legible.
I'm going to have a look.
Yep. It reads, "They seek gold." And that's all you can make out. It looks quite hurried, like a very, very quick scrivening.
I'm just going to stick with Ryzen.
Do I notice anything else about the inside or the corpse?
Would you like to do an investigation?
15 on the investigation.
Like, if you opened this thing up when it was full, right, you'd expect a number of chests or lock boxes and stuff like that. Bags. The only thing that's here is anything that's wooden, and it looks like someone's just taken like a hammer to the chests and just broken them open.
So all the metal is missing?
Basically, it looks like this thing's been fully stripped down. Like it's literally being held together by, like they went to the extent of like borrowing out the nails.
And burrowing by hand rather than just tearing out by magic.
Oh, well, it's like it looks like someone took a claw hammer to it and pecked away at it. They've just fully turfed this over, and anything that had any kind of scrap value has been removed.
I'm going to have a look at the road and see if there's any indication as to which direction people have gone. People or other things. Are there any tracks, any marks on the road?
No, I mean, apart from the muddy footprints that you guys had, there's nothing here. But that could have easily been washed away. This actually, you know what? One thing you do get from this body is it's fresh. There are a few flies, like a few maggots, but other than that, the coach seems relatively stable. Like, it's obviously not as stable as it would be if it had like all its supporting structure.
Wheels.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. It's literally.
So is it held together by its knurls, basically?
Basically, yeah.
Can I hear anything?
Actually, you can't hear much of anything. It's almost preternaturally quiet. Actually, what's your passive perception? Both of you?
10.
10, yep.
Mine says 13, but I think that might be wrong. No, I think it's 10 plus.
Yeah, it's perception. Yeah, that's
11,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's enough. That magical vibe that you were getting before, that hum, that feeling, is no longer around you. With the running and the blood pumping and then being like scrabbling through the mist and then coming across this thing, you just haven't realised there's just like, it feels like an oppressive force has been lifted off you. Your hair's no longer standing up on end, and there's that weird feeling, that staticky feeling is no longer on you. Charlie and Nezor, you are quietly standing waiting for Skairn to return, and he doesn't.
Shouldn't he be back by now? I whisper into Charlie's ear, which I'm imagining I'm right next to.
I'm gonna make a perception check.
At what point did they lose?
I would have been listening as you moved away. So I want to make a perception check so that I can pinpoint the point in which I can no longer detect.
Sure.
Because he's not going to be quiet. You can't quietly walk through a big muddy bog. So that's a 20.
Yeah, he ran off.
I don't know if I would have run.
Well, you moved off. Yeah. What pace it was is immaterial. But it's almost like he walked down a tunnel and then you couldn't hear anything.
Okay. I'm going to use, I guess, an insight check to see whether that effect, like me not being able to hear him after a certain, well, like, okay, he's moving at this speed, he's moving in this direction, and then I can't hear him, whether that's...
Oh, you don't have to do an insight check. That's not normal. That doesn't make sense. It's the level at which his footsteps got quieter was unnaturally quick.
Well, I'll kind of, reach out magically and do an Arcana check. It's a 17.
So when you use magic, right, I mean, you can sense, it's like someone moving past you in a pool of water, right? You can feel the ripple go past. This fog is now almost impregnated with 4 or 5 different, I guess, intents, just sort of swirling past you. And also this active feeling is incredibly sophisticated and incredibly subtle, but you're pretty certain this has only started basically within the last minute, maybe? You're not sure if it's messing with your perception or if it's actually like moving you slightly, but you feel like, that thing where your inner ear goes and you suddenly feel kind of a bit like punch drunk almost? You just realise that that's been happening sort of subtly to you.
So since the guys split?
Yeah, basically since Skairn and everyone stopped.
Yeah, so I relay that to Charlie that something is definitely different about the mist in the last minute. Definitely magically different. Do we still feel that electric energy from the stone plinth, like that familiar electric?
Yeah, it's even more. No, it's not more. No, it feels directed now.
Oh, okay.
Like and you kind of pick apart that those intents that we were sort of talking about, like these 4 or 5 different kind of ideas is almost how I would describe it, like magical ideas coming through here are definitely affecting it. Like they're almost piggybacking on it.
So, Nezor, I don't quite understand how magic is, so if I say something that's stupid, bear with me.
Yeah.
Would you be able to, using the magic from that stone that we came by, would you be able to use that as a beacon and head back in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, we also just followed a path, but yeah.
Yes, but it seems like we're getting lost.
I will let you do an Arcana check to get your bearings.
Yep. That is an 8.
You think it's behind you, the way you came? But it's a little bit difficult to discern because, again, these intents are now swirling around you. And if anything, they seem to, like, recognise that you are...
pushing out.
Yeah, like it's... Again, going with the analogy of, like, people moving through water, they're recognising the fact that you're affecting their currents by trying to work out what that is.
How was that? Did you...
It's behind us somewhere. Like, it's definitely in this general direction, but I don't have a pinpoint on it. Potentially, if we got closer, I'd be able to get a better idea, but I don't know how good of an idea that is, as much as the stone definitely intrigued me.
I would suggest, then, we take a moment, try and center ourselves and check again. See if Because I don't want to head off in
No,
any
not if
direction. So,
Skairn went to find them and he couldn't find them, and now he can't find Skairn. It's not a good idea.
so like Charlie will just sort of like, slow his breath and sort of try and, I guess, basically I'm thematically going, if I can calm down, everyone like focus and have another roll at it. Cause,
Sure. Well, I'm going to say, like, close your eyes.
control my breath
And as you breathe in, you bring that air into your lungs through your nose. And as that pungent smell of the bog and the wetness of the area around you hits you, you're able to determine that its cloying stench may not be the full truth, but it gives you a grounding in this place right here, right now. You can feel through your boots the ground beneath you. And, well, no, your boots are still over your shoulder, so I guess you
I
feel
can
through
feel it in my toes.
in your toes. You can feel that grittiness, and there is a feeling here that this place has purpose. You can roll again if you want. So you do this moment, yeah?
If I can feel a purpose, do I get the feeling that it's like, do I feel like an intelligence or a connection, or is this just, like, is there a connection there, or is it just
This place, this land that you're standing on, feels like it has almost, and I'm only going to use this as an example, but a sword can only be used for one thing, right?
so? It was
Whether
like
that's defensively or not, this place feels as though it has a purpose in being what it is. Really great example. It would be like when you walk into a church.
yeah,
Like, this is a place that is...
it has emotions built into it,
Yeah.
or feeling built into it.
So I rolled a 1, but I'm a halfling, so I get to roll then again.
Sure.
That's an 11.
You almost tack onto it. Almost. And then...
These presences swarm you, leaving you utterly confused.
Scan. You are bolting towards Hrosh.
He wouldn't be this cocksure if he was in mortal peril. Or at least as if he perceived he was in mortal peril. So one way or the other, I'm like, okay. I don't know any of what they know, so the metal thing would have me worried, but because he's copper or bronzy. But I don't just dash. Sure. I take a moment and I'm like, okay, right, let's get a feel for this place. Let's truly figure this place out, because this is messed up. So I sort of not meditate, but there is a moment I crouch down, I feel the earth with my hand, put my bare flesh to the earth, and try and get a sense for the place.
Okay. With your innate ranger abilities, with your hand pressed to the surface of this earth, you can feel the raw, untamed power of this land.
From this connection that you suddenly have with this earth, you could move anywhere within, like, 100 foot from here. You could just be there. So you could move closer to... In fact, you could probably land in front of Hrosh at this point.
Can I move to any of the others?
You can't sense them.
I do that then.
3...
No. I do many things is not stupid. I go 20 feet directly behind him.
Okay, you reach out with your magical abilities into the earth.
And then there's this sharp pain. It races up your palm into your heart. And you feel like your heart's about to explode for a second. And then you
Burst into a cloud of mist.
roll me a constitution check.
Constitution. Save, it's 11.
And then roll me a d4 and tell me what you got.
4.
You lose 4 hit points permanently.
Oh. Permanently.
Permanently.
As the land takes its toll.
What the fuck is going on with this place?
There's like a... And you're suddenly lurching forward on new ground. And as you look up, you see three figures, humanoid in size, and they appear to be they're in strange garb. Like, it looks like they're wearing sort of Bashano-style clothing.
But the robes are made from reptile hide, and they're long and flowing, and the hood that they wear is clearly made from the flayed head of a crocodile, where the skin from its jaws come down over the body like a tabard.
Riding atop the central figure, on top of the aforementioned hat, is Hrosh. And he looks over and notices you and hiccups, and a small flame comes out, and you get like a, oh, hey, man.
I stand back to it. Have they noticed me?
No, they're still walking.
Are their backs to me?
Yes.
Good. This was the correct choice.
He does not appear to be under any duress.
Nope. Fine. So I ask him, what up?
He goes, well, I mean, obviously it's more feeling, but you get a very satisfied, full belly. I have been belly rubbed so much. These people are great. I love them. I want to be with them. I'm sorry I'm so sorry I didn't phone call you to let you know where I was going, but I've just been hanging out with the coolest people. This is amazing. They are treating me so well. I am immensely pleased. I feel like I have been treated like a king.
Good.
He is just like so pleased with himself.
Would he come back to me if I asked him to?
You'd have to persuade him. He's very happy where he is.
Okay. I don't want to do that just yet.
He's like, rather than like you're kind of like, come back to me. He's like, no, you come with me. Come hang out.
I'm following.
Yeah, cool.
They're moving, and I'm following behind in a sort of
Yeah.
not leisurely pace.
No worries. If you want to move, you're gonna have to not attract their attention.
Yeah.
Please roll stealth.
That's pretty good. 17.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, you start to move. I noticed, and then one of them starts talking. Goes, the interlopers have been confused. They will find their way from this place to Safe Harbor, and we shall be allowed to begin the convocation, Brother 10. And then the central figure who...
Well, 10, but there's only 9 of them.
It says, excellent. The grand shift has afforded us a wonderful opportunity to revive this world. And then the third figure, who is a female figure, pipes up and goes, to find one of the promised children is truly fortuitous.
I've been so angry. Like, they may be about to eat you.
He's like, oh no, they feed me.
I sent him my memory of the story of Hansel and Gretel.
He's like, that's fine, I'll fight my way out. But he's as you're sort of sending this, and he's like, no, they feed me. The one on the right, the female-voiced one, turns and holds out a piece of fish to Hrosh, and Hrosh is like, and kind of croons at her, and she extends a hand, a very elven hand, and does like a back finger stroke down his belly scales, and he's just loving it.
I just think, you whore. Traitorous wench. I'm listening in at this point. Without any backup, I'm like, Are they armed?
Perception check, please. Because it's still quite misty. There are more figures. The only reason you really noticed Hrosh is because he hiccuped.
These dice aren't doing very well for me today.
Yeah?
That is an 8.
Can't tell.
No.
They might be. It's entirely... But, I mean, I will say, like, they obviously did mention that they
robes.
They were robes, but also they did say that the interlopers would find their way safely from this place.
Sure.
So...
I'm an interloper, pretty sure. And I ain't safe.
Yeah.
Can I get a feeling for... Given that I'm with them...
Yeah.
Can I primeval awareness?
You may.
For what they're thinking? Because it says beasts.
Then I wouldn't consider them to be beasts.
Okay. In which case, I can still sense where they are. Can I sense any of the other 3 groups? Or these lot?
No.
Right.
Moving back to the cart with Abella and Rhylind.
I'd like to have a look around and see if I can see anything.
There's a road, there's a cart, there's some trees.
Can I try and... Because I've still got my torch. I want to try and peer into the bushes and see if I can spot the wheel.
No, you don't see any wheel. I mean, they're not so much bushes as like sort of just roadside scrub. It's still fairly open ground, like you were sort of traveling through. It's more those weeping willow trees. But you don't see any further detritus. It looks literally like they just methodically pulled it to bits. The wheel probably came off maybe in the chase when they ran it down. But there's no horses. Other than the corpse of this fella who's inside it, there's nothing. There's no indication that it was even realistically attacked. There's no arrowheads. There's no arrow shafts. There's nothing.
Do I have any kind of, I guess, sense of what direction the road is leading?
Do you have anything that kind of tells you, like, gives you, like a sure direction? Any kind of a passive ability that does that?
No.
Like a ranger? No? Look, as far as you're concerned, this road is heading north and south.
And which way were we heading when we headed into the...
East. Well, southeast.
So if we head north, we might find our way back to where we came from. Or if we head south, we might
Go where we were going.
wing.
Well, staying here's not really an option. So we sort of just have to pick one and go with it.
I pull a coin out of my pocket and I...
Heads for north, tails for south?
Sure. And I flick the coin and let it land on the ground.
Okay. Tails.
South it is.
Alrighty.
So, yeah, you peel off southwards.
I
and
pick up my coin, obviously.
Roll me perceptions then.
3.
16.
You're at disadvantage.
Ah, shit. Well, you know what? 11.
11. It's enough. There's nothing here. Like, it's just very quiet, very peaceful. But this road seems to be going forever. It curves a little bit here and there, but I mean, honestly, there is a sense of security here. You could probably set camp and wait till morning if you wanted.
I'm not
I
comfortable
don't want to do
with
that.
that.
No.
No,
I
no.
almost would.
No, but like that's my point. Like, you wouldn't feel comfortable here, but the area does not have any malice. Like, there's nothing. There's no animals. There's no stinging insects. It's just a road. Like, that sense of security of, well, I'm on the side of the road. It's getting late, and it is starting to get late. Like, it is probably heading towards about 8, 9 in the evening. Would you like to do anything? Stay? Keep moving?
I'm thinking,
Up to you.
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you continue to travel down this road. Nezor and Charlie, what would you like to do?
I feel like I don't want to touch any Cult of the Dragony stuff, meaning the stone, without everyone else. That stuff is just too crazy to get involved in. I think our best bet is to keep heading forward in the direction that we believed one of the groups was going and see if we can get some more information about what's going on and try and find someone else.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not comfortable handling that, I fully support that. Okay, well then, what I'll do is, well, I was Navy, so I'm going to try and use the stars. Like, if I should be able to see.
It's overcast.
Is it like entirely overcast?
Well, you're dealing. The clouds have started to part a bit. The mist is still pretty heavy, and you're under a canopy. So if you've rolled
Can I see
any
from the moon, like some light from the moon through the sky? That's going to give me at least a bearing.
you can see the twins, the two moons. It is definitely dappling through. Like it's to the point where there are like beams of light being illuminated.
But
by
if
the
I can
fog.
sort of see the two core points, and I'm going to be able to plot a course.
If you know what time
Using
it is,
those.
you know where they should be.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
have a guess.
So by determining where they are, you actually realise that you've been pointed northwest, which is almost the complete opposite direction. And you didn't move, like your position has shifted.
Okay, so if I've figured out where we have been pointed, and where we were heading, which was southeast, yeah. So, well, okay. So it seems something's happened that's turned us around because we were moving in the opposite direction as we are now. I suggest that if we head southeast, which was the direction they were moving before they were alerted to our presence, we're going to end up where they were heading. And I imagine Skairn, with his scouting abilities, is also going to be heading in that direction. Yep. So if we can basically just realign ourselves, move southeast, we should end up wherever Hrosh is going to end up, which I imagine is where Skairn's going to end up.
Makes sense to me.
Navigating the willows using the moon as your true north, you come across a small open glade with a large body of water. The mist recedes from the shoreline, and you can catch a glimpse of a naked elven woman bathing. It's not until she stands from the water that you suddenly realize her short-cropped hair leads into scales that run the length of her body. Her hands are slightly webbed and clawed, much the same as a crocodile's is. She notices you and turns to face you.
I'm going to cover Nezor's eyes.
I'm 21. Like, I cover my eyes of my own accord.
My apologies, we don't mean any harm. Sort of like try not to look.
Throughout this, she doesn't turn away. She's not embarrassed about her physicality. She opens her mouth to speak, and through reptilian teeth, she says,
Are you lost?
We were all split up. We're looking for...
Can I look yet?
There is no need to cover your face in shame, gentle halfling.
Oh, of course.
Okay, that's cool. I remove my hands.
We're all split up, and I'm looking for my other... Let's call them companions.
I knock my head, but ignore that line.
I'm not split up with my friend. Pat you on the knee.
I don't know how to help you find your friends. If they were lost in the mist, they are likely safe.
I mean, I can't leave without my friends, and...
They will not come to harm. Brother Tim is not a cruel person.
At that point, she sort of just starts striding out of the water, walks up the bank, doesn't dry off as such, as just picks up a cover.
If you are tired from your journey, you may find shelter at my home for this eve.
Can we get your name first?
I am Sister Sepitma.
So have I heard anything more? Have they continued chatting, or they...
No, they're just moving. Hrosh is just completely content and, as I said, quite smug. You enter a clearing.
Uh-huh.
It's a very, very wide clearing. There are 5 incredibly large versions of the trees that you've sort of been passing. They're about 4 times the size, and they're sort of arrayed in a pentagrammic shape. So there's one closest to you, then 2 on either side, and then 2 further beyond that. But behind that, and this is visible now because as you exit out, the mist sort of recedes, you see there is a huge stone structure that looks very, very much ruined and overgrown behind this, in sort of like have you ever, like an amphitheater shell, that sort of thing? It's that kind of construction, but it's clearly fallen away. Mm-hmm. There are stones that are sort of mossy and overgrown here, but it looks lived in, actually. There are small, like, tents set up, made from this reptile skin. And as they enter in from this direction, from the north and the south, 3 others enter in at the same time.
Good.
Brother 10, with Hrosh, walks forward and goes, "Brothers and sisters, this is a momentous occasion. Let us celebrate the grand shift." And he looks up to the sky.
I'm going to look at the sky. What's going on with this sky?
You're a sailor, yeah?
Yeah. I'm a navigator.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Oh, good. In what way is it wrong?
So you follow a particular constellation, I imagine.
I use a constellation and another star, particularly bright star, near Lanadlos. The first constellation to rise in the night was the one that I always found my way home by. If I was going home that night, the one that would rise pretty much above Lanadlos. Yeah. And I would use Brengir as my way to get home.
Yeah, so it's a sort of a northern constellation.
Yeah.
It's in the south.
Sure, and it shouldn't be.
No, and it's tilted slightly, like 30 degrees in the wrong angle.
Right.
And the other stars, like the stars that you would sort of use maybe as an additional, like, oh, well, there's that.
You can spot a constellation here and there.
Yeah. They're all in the wrong position.
Right. We put the stone in Orion back, right?
Yes.
Good.
There is a constellation that is sort of almost in like an inverted W, with like the center of it being quite long.
Mm-hmm.
It's very prominent in the sky because it is where basically the westmost constellation should be normally. That has shifted as well. And in this place, there is this constellation, like an inverted W with like a long neck coming from it. At this, Brother Ten's gestures to it, goes, "The dragon reveals itself." And the others chant, "The dragon reveals itself."
Oh, great. Cultists.
They should love you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Turn me the fuck around.
They really got the second prize on this one, didn't they?
Well, I'm technically not a dragon, so.
Yeah, but you're sentient in a way that mine ain't.
Ten then takes Hrosh very gently and holds him up and he goes, "The dragon reveals itself." And the others do the same. And Hrosh is just like...
And I send to him, "Reveal yourself."
This road has continued for quite a while, and it is extremely boring. You are just travelling south. Well, what do you think is south?
Practicing?
No. Well, this has gotten as entertaining. This has gotten as entertaining as it was ever going to be. Hey, Rhylind.
Sorry. I wasn't trying to sound that bored.
No, I can't blame you. This road.
Pissed off.
Do you want to just walk off it for a bit, see if...
Anything happens?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
I feel like we should probably go together. Even at this point, I'm not confident in the rope's ability to keep
Yeah.
us together.
I just don't know what to achieve. I mean, we can't hear anything. We can't see anything. Oh, wait. And I'm going to look up at the sky.
It's overcast.
Well...
You can see moons, but it's like through the clouds.
Well, that didn't work. Right, off the path. So
Cool.
I fall asleep standing up.
I'm going to draw my rapier and slash a path like a brave explorer.
Are you still strung together?
Yes, and also we're close together.
Yeah?
Like-
All right. Shuffling in as one motion. Right, okay.
Not quite one, but... So what are the shrubbery sort of like? It's not the thorny
It's
vines
just
anymore,
like
is it?
it's just like brush.
Can I pick some and look at it?
Yeah,
What's the...
it's brush.
Alrighty.
It's just close.
Well,
You do that.
I'm going to keep forging a path, hacking
Yeah.
through some trees,
I'm going to follow.
keeping close,
Sure.
tied together.
The mist is swirling around you, as it was before. Rhylind, you can see Abella ahead of you, and then she kind of goes a little bit ahead, and her shape becomes a little bit less defined. Then you get closer, and it's just a trudge. It's absolute drudgery. And meanwhile, the whole time you can hear Abella just cutting her way through this foliage. And she probably doesn't actually need to at this point. Like, it's pretty much just brush and
I'll be
trees.
honest, at this point it's for fun more than anything else.
Rhylind, roll me a perception check, please.
5.
So, as you're moving forward, Abella trots forward going, yeah, with her sword.
I do.
And then as you move to catch up with her, you can still hear her. But as you move to catch up with her, her rope and your rope no longer are attached to each other.
Oh, fucking bugger it! Abella!
Do I hear anything?
Yeah, you hear her yelling like maybe 20 foot behind you.
What?
You're untied.
No, I'm not. I look down to my rope.
Yeah, the rope's attached.
I'm tied.
Well,
Can I
you're
try pulling on the rope?
Yep, you pull it up and it ends in a frayed section.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to
try-
keep talking. Walk towards me.
Both of you roll perception checks for me then.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, it's more interesting than the path.
I don't want to die
Bella,
here.
remember you have
10.
disadvantage.
Oh, no. Oh, well, 11.
Yep.
10.
Okay. You sort of see wherever each other are, like you find each other in the mist, and Rhylind. You catch this like a split second after Abella does. Abella sort of comes out of the mist and goes like, "What?" like with her sword, and then this thing just barrels into her and bites the rapier.
I'm gonna fucking let go of that shit.
As you let go, this thing just chews it, looking at you the whole time with its little antenna moving, and just eats your rapier.
I'm gonna back away very quickly.
Its antennae lock in on you and start
I'm
moving
gonna
closer.
mage hand.
Yep.
Fucking swat that shit. I'm gonna swat the antennae. Like a bitch. I'm just gonna bitch slap the antenna.
Okay,
Fuck.
it moves and then goes back and focuses in against you again. And then the antennae flitter above it and then start looking and look towards Rhylind. And its attention immediately snaps towards you. And you can see this thing, and this thing is pretty big. It is about the size of a bull.
It's sort of a rusty gold orange colour, and it has a large humped carapace.
And it makes these ponderous steps towards you.
Oh no. Fucking run. I'll follow. I'll figure something out.
I'm gonna leave you behind.
Just run.
It's now in front of you, and its antennae are rubbing against your body and are very interested in your armor. It latches onto your arm and begins to gnaw on your armor.
Ryzen, get that off. Get it off. Take your armor off.
If you want to try and disengage and run, do that now. Otherwise, I need an initiative roll from people.
Everything metal is on me. That doesn't help. Can I try and pry it off with the head of my axe? Like try and get my axe in its mouth and try and kind of...
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Yeah, I try to do that.
Okay, you put the axe head in its mouth and sort of use it to leverage this thing's jaw off of your armor. However, it clamps down on the axe that has now been offered to it. But as you remove it from your armor, you recognize the fact that its teeth marks that it's left in your armor are in fact very similar to the markings that you saw around the metal rivets that were removed from the cart.
I'm going to get...
So it's on my axe. Can I try and pull my axe away from it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I have to roll for that?
Yeah, strength roll. Contested.
18 plus my strength, which would be 6. So 24.
You reef it out of its mouth and spittle comes away with it as well. And then it lands on its forelegs.
Run the fuck away.
While we do that, I'm going to take a handful of gold ducats and throw it at it.
Sure, roll me a d20.
12.
12 ducats go flying out of your hand, remove them from your inventory, and they hit this thing on the back of its carapace, and those antennae immediately flick back, and it just turns, and now it's suddenly drawn to these coins, and it just starts to chew on them.
Keep running, get to the path.
Yep, running.
As you run, you see, on either side of you from the mist, these mounds sort of stand up, and these little antennae pop up. And
Back to the road, really quickly.
There's about 4 of them.
Back to the road even more quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly, running towards the road.
They are giving chase.
I'm going to run and get another handful of coins, and I throw them out to the right.
Yeah, sure. Roll me a d20.
7.
7 coins go flying away.
Literally throwing away money.
Literally spendthrift, yeah.
You successfully entice one of them to peel away. There are still 3 that are following you.
Oh, great.
I am not throwing my axe away. God damn it.
Don't you have gold too?
No. I also... I grab like 3 ducats and throw them away.
Well, you sitting there counting them as you go?
Oh, you know, I try to take a little pinch of money as
Roll
opposed
me
to a
a
fucking
D6.
handful. Which one's it? Where's my...
Excited.
I wasn't really considering putting a
3.
price.
Ha-ha!
So 3 coins.
3
go flying.
coins.
I'll never doubt your accounting talents from now on.
Damn
So
fucking
20,
straight.
it's not 20 coins. So 3 coins go flying out and bounce off the carapace of one.
But it continues to follow you, scenting like a bloodhound.
Gave me 3 ducats, you bastard!
Yeah.
19, Ryland! 19 is what I just threw away.
You can actually see that the road is not too far from where you currently are. You still have 3 chasing you.
Yeah.
These things are bounding behind you. It's almost like how a rabbit runs.
Run towards the road!
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. So you skid out onto this road, and these other 3 creatures bound out onto the road with you.
Oh, no.
All our weapons are metal, so I don't know how effective they're going to be against these things. They're going to want that. They're going to want our weapons at them. They want to eat them. I damaged my precious battle axe.
It's relatively minor. Like, it's just nibbled on it, but it's definitely got an indent on it now.
3 of them and 2 of us. I'm in favor of keeping running.
Leave a trail of coins.
Oh, God damn it. And I'll throw some more ducats out.
No
behind
worries.
me.
More than 3.
Yes, that was more than 3. I didn't count.
Roll a d20, please.
If we get it down to 1, let's attack it, okay? How much money do I have? I've got 120, so...
Yeah, I'm down to 91, so...
Oh, 91 ducats, you're so poor.
That's just this mental image of these two people. All right, so 2 coins. Yeah, no, 2 coins go flying out of your pocket. You don't
I
even
swear
walk-
I meant to throw more than that.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I throw another handful.
As you do that, as you throw the 2, one of them just leaps in the air and swallows them whole. And continues to bound forward.
I throw 11 at them.
Yeah, no, 11 does it. And one of them stops and starts feasting on the small pile of coins while the 2 behind it catch up.
All right, I throw more coins.
I'm going to assume you've thrown the
I
coin.
threw 16 that time.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I've thrown 20 in total.
So one of them stops and the other one barges into it and they start fighting over these coins.
As a result, they no longer give chase.
We're going to keep running.
Keep legging it.
Yeah,
Just
but
fucking
they've
legging
stopped
it.
pursuing you. They're just now fighting.
Just don't give a fuck.
So didn't both of you have a pouch full of shot for your guns?
Yeah, I might need that.
I don't have a gun.
I have.
Okay.
I have shot, but
You could, you
also-
buy more shot than
given
you
our
can
current
buy more
situation,
bullets.
I think bullets are going to be more useful than money.
Because the thing said they want gold, so that's why I was throwing gold at them, because there was a note
Nails.
specifically.
The cart wasn't nailed together.
Yeah, but
with
if they
gold.
say they specifically want gold, then that's obviously, well, according to this elf.
The elf is an idiot.
No,
Because
well.
they ate all of the metal rebar, they ate all of the nails.
You know what?
You're just throwing
Not all
bullets.
of us have memorized the entire monster manual, so you guys can shut the fuck up now.
Needless to say, you've never seen anything like this before. Nothing like this you've ever heard of, and this is not normal. Abella, on the upside, that brisk run makes you feel a hell of a lot better. Like the blood pumping and everything, you're no longer poisoned.
Oh, good.
You could have used that money to just buy a doctor, and you would have had a whole bunch left over.
Or a new axe.
Yeah.
I need to buy a new sword now, because I don't have
Yeah, you
one
don't have
anymore.
a sword. I feel like you have daggers, though.
I'll be honest, that was one of the main reasons I didn't want to just fight them.
You don't have a sword anymore.
Yeah,
No,
that makes
I
sense.
agree with you. That would suck. Fighting without a weapon is really shit.
I have
I
a
really
short
like
bow,
the
but
fact
that is
that you just instinctively let go, like, ah! So, going back to Charlie and Nezor. You've wound your way through a path that's led to look, I won't describe it any other way. It's basically a hobbit hole.
Sweet. Cozy.
It's, I mean, not with the circular door and well-kept garden or what have you, but it's effectively the same thing.
It's a mound.
And as you walk in, this sister Sepitma casts her cloak to the side and stretches, and with a mouthful of teeth turns and goes,
Feel free to make yourself comfortable by the fire.
and the dry wood that's there bounces for a moment and then combusts. And she goes over to a small table. It's one room with like a bedroll, a small built-in fireplace that has obviously has a chimney that goes out the top, and a workbench on one side. And you can see a whole pile of different like tinctures and roots and like prepared pickled jars and all kinds of stuff. It's just covered in it.
Charlie, do we trust her?
We have no reason not to.
But she's not with, but she's at least related to the people that have Hrosh
Sure. I mean,
and have done something to us to separate us from everyone. At least while we're here, getting some more information.
I can hear you, you know. Do not whisper amongst yourselves in my home.
No, she's actually taking it in quite good humour.
Yeah.
Sort of just looking at you like there are two crazy people in my hovel. This
I'm
is
sort
not
of
necessarily a good
trying to
idea.
Sorry, I thought she'd like walked off to her
No,
side.
the room is not
a
huge.
hole in the ground.
You said Hobbit hole, I imagine.
So let me paint you a word
This is
picture.
a studio apartment in London.
Yeah, you walk in.
Closet.
10 feet square max.
You walk in and she's like, feel free to make yourself at home. She goes over to her bench and you're like, maybe we should ask her for information.
Cool.
She can hear you, but she doesn't mind.
This is a common occurrence for her.
So Sepitma crosses her arms and looks at you all evenly, and then says,
In the morning, I will lead you through the forest to the path that will set you on your way. I cannot help you find your friends. I am no longer welcome within the Enclave. We disagree on what the portents claim.
What's your interpretation of what's going on?
I should not have said anything, but as you ask,
Sepitma sighs. She has got the air of someone who's just had this argument like 100 times already that day. And then she says,
I am part of an ancient order that tend to these moors, much as our forefathers did. Our duties are many, and our secrets ancient. We track the passage of the star, by the will of the gods for portents of the future, good and ill. A few days ago, as night fell, we discovered the stars themselves had suddenly shifted in the sky. Constellations out of step in the celestial dance. This is a portent of great significance. One of our number believes it to be a revelation. I consider it ill-fated, but not so much as the implications of the grand shift. For what is truly worrying is the passage of time. By my estimations, 12,000 years have passed in a single night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of There Be Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master Matthew, and Abella DeRosier was played by Angela Lita Kay. Charlie Roughhouse was played by Tristan Doust. Nezor Valghoorlis, the Bard, and our sound recordist was played by Tom Moore. Skairn Fellspar is played by Joshua Walker. And Rhylind Westfall is played by Keren Schlink. Guest voice actress Holly Jones portrays the voice of Sister Sepitma. If you'd like to know more about the podcast, check out our website at therebedragonscast.com, or you can check us out on Podbean at therebedragons.podbean.com. We also have a Twitter at TBDragonsCast, where you can tweet at us and talk about the show using the hashtag ThereBeDragons. There Be Dragons is edited and produced by Matthew Buss, and sound post-produced by Tom Moore. There Be Dragons' original score and soundtrack is composed and produced by Sean Tanian. You can see more of his work at SeanTanianMusic.com. There Be Dragons art is produced by Brianna Manning. You can find more of her work at brepi.com. That's all for this week. Thanks for listening.